Has anyone seen Newcastle? Anton Deck, Alan Shearer, Jimmy Nail, the Geordie Dancer. You boys took one hell of a beating. The Tyne Bridge, the Angel of the North, the Millennium Bridge, the Metro Centre. You boys took one hell of a beating. Alexander, who? Sandro Toenail, Bruno, who? You boys took one hell of a beating. That was an absolute, total and utter domination. This is your instant reaction to Aston Villa 4, Newcastle 1. Get in there! Come on! Aston Villa 4, Newcastle 1. That is the biggest game of the season for me. You guys know it. I can walk round. My son can walk round with pride, round Newcastle, round Walker, round Wallsend, round town with his Villa shirt on. Proud, proud, proud. What a performance from the boys today. Make sure you smash the like button, hit that subscribe button, help us on the road to 6,000 subscribers, and get your comments and your thoughts on today's performance in what was probably the best performance of the season. Everyone was talking about Tuesday night and how we would cope with the emotional drain, the what we went through in that game in terms of beating PSG 3-2. Would that come back to bite us in the backside? And Villa answered that with an emphatic no. What a performance from the boys. Absolutely tremendous from 1 to 11. The substitutions as well, absolutely phenomenal. And look, I was quiet all through this week with my friends, my Geordie friends. I was quiet on the Loaded Mag yesterday because I did not want to tempt fate, but deep down, I had a feeling that what happened on Boxing Day, what's happened against Newcastle in the past, we would be super motivated for this game, super motivated. And we knew that we'd have to dominate midfield. We knew we'd have to get right into Newcastle's faces because they have some fantastic players and they are doing extremely well. We know how good their midfield is, and we answered that emphatically today. We absolutely dominated them all game. We did not give them a sniff, and it was just a tremendous performance right from word go. And Ollie Watkins came in for the start today, and he was absolutely magnificent all game. Gave Shah and Burn the absolute run around, and on 30 seconds in the game, it was him that gave us the lead. And it was a ball that was chased up into the corner. I think Tonali went to clear it. It gets cut out by Yuri Tielemans. He's obviously deeper, doesn't run out quick enough, so Ollie can stay forward. Tielemans plays him in. He cuts inside on his right foot and doesn't hit the best of shots, but it deflects off Shah and wrong foots Nick Pope and into the goal, and Aston Villa are 1-0 up. And it continued in that fashion. We knew Kamara needed to give a strong performance, and he was right in the face of the Newcastle midfield, same as Yuri Tielemans. And we know how good Yuri Tielemans has been this season. He is probably up there with the best midfielders in the league, as well as Tonali and Bruno, and he really showed it today. And we continued. And as I say, Watkins was just phenomenal all game. He had another effort where on the left-hand side, does that little step over, cuts in, cuts back out on his left foot and hits a shot from a really tight angle, hits the angle of post and bar. And he just continued in that vein all the way through. And to be fair, Newcastle did get back into the game with an equalizer that was kind of really against the run of play. Ball come out on the left. I think it's Harvey Barnes. Puts a deep cross in after they've had a corner, after we've cleared the corner. I think it was Watkins went to head it to Asensio, but didn't quite make it to him. Barnes crosses it in, and Fabian Schär at the back post heads it down. It goes through Martinez's legs into the net, and it's 1-1. And yeah, you know Newcastle back in the game, and you're thinking it was kind of nip and tuck from there. Newcastle going on attacks, Villa going on attacks, and it was a really good quality game at that point. Ollie Watkins nearly scored again, header that hits the post from a corner. And we have one or two other efforts. I think Morgan Rogers has an effort. And Marco Asensio really, really should have scored to take us back into the lead as soon as Newcastle had got the equaliser. And McGinn down that left-hand side plays it into Maatsen, who carries on his run, cuts the ball back, and literally Asensio's right in the middle of the goal. And he misses the ball, somehow misses the ball, and when the goal's right in front of him and doesn't score. But going into half time at 1-1, if Villa could get that goal in the second half, you knew that they would then potentially go on and score more and take the inspiration from that. That being said, if Newcastle had got that goal, you knew that they would have sat back and picked us off on the break. And it was pleasing to see Villa come out in that second half with the same intent, with the same attacking play and picking up more spaces. It was interesting to see Rogers and Asensio getting more space in those middle areas. And to be honest, Newcastle couldn't really find a way to handle them because Watkins was a threat in behind and Asensio and Rogers were excellent in those little areas. And again, we could have scored more goals right at the start of the second half. It was Villa that had the attacking intent. I think Rogers had shots into the keeper's hands. I think it was McGinn had an effort where he got put in and he hits it straight at Pope. Pope makes a great save. But I think it was midway through the second half, 60, 63, 64 minutes, a brilliant move from Aston Villa. Brilliant move. It ended up with Ian Maatsen scoring a fantastic goal, and the legs that he showed in this game today was tremendous. We get the ball through the middle, play it through the middle. I think it goes into Asensio, who plays it onto Rogers, who plays it then onto Ollie Watkins, and he sees Maatsen overlapping him, plays him in the perfect pass into his path, and brilliant finish into the far corner for Ian Maatsen for his first Premier League goal. And that was where Villa took the inspiration. Absolutely fantastic goal. Then we make the substitutions, Amadou Onana and Jacob Ramsey coming on, and mate, what an impact they had. As soon as Ramsey comes on, ball's laid out to him on the left-hand side. He attacks the fullback at the time, puts the ball across, and I think it's Yuri Tillemans running in with Dan Burn, and Dan Burn comes off the back of his foot and into the net, and then Villa can relax a little bit more. It's 3-1, and then what a goal! Like 2 minutes later, absolutely phenomenal goal. We should really have scored. I think it might have been Rogers that really should have scored beforehand. We think it's going in. It comes out to Amadou Onana on the edge of the box, and he absolutely rifles it into the top corner. 4-1 to Aston Villa. What a performance. And we could have got more from there. Ramsey hits the post. Marlon hits a chance wide. Rashford could have put him in as well. It was absolutely phenomenal performance. And look, Newcastle could not have complained if that had been 6 or 7. 4 goals scored, 3 times hitting the woodwork. Numerous chances on goal, as I've said. It was an absolutely phenomenal performance. So many players to shout out. Tillemans, yet again in that midfield. An absolute masterclass of a midfield performance from him. Kamara, we've asked him to step up against Newcastle. We've asked him to step up against the likes of Joe Linton and Bruno, and he absolutely did. He did all the dirty bits, and then he started to work into the game and started to attack more. He was phenomenal today. John McGinn, what a driving performance again. How many times do we say this from John McGinn? When he plays well, Aston Villa play well. At the back, Konsa and Mings, really solid performance from the both of them. We know what a danger Alexander Isak is, but he did not get a sniff, didn't get a kick all game, and that was down to those two at the back just marshalling the defence so well. You hear Mings' booming voice coming out, and he was tremendous today. Ian Maatsen, what a performance from him. What a performance. We know, again, what form Jacob Murphy's been in the last few weeks, and he absolutely pocketed him. He ended up having to go off. Harvey Barnes comes over to the right-hand side. Anthony Gordon comes on to the left-hand side, and Maatsen just dealt with him, and he scored a goal, and he was the one running forwards, carrying on, continuing on. It was a master stroke from Unai Emery to play him today, because we knew what a danger and what pace they have out wide, and he absolutely saw it out, and it was a tremendous performance from Ian Maatsen. Very close to being man of the match for me. in terms of his performance, but I have to give it to Ollie Watkins. He led the line phenomenally well. He gave Shah and Burn an absolute run around. Shah was probably lucky that he didn't get 2 bookings, but after that first half, he couldn't put a challenge on him, and they didn't know what to do with him. He was going in behind. He was isolating them one-on-one out wide. He was dropping in deep. He scored a goal. He assisted the goal. He hit the woodwork twice. It was a centre-forward performance of absolute vintage. What a performance from Ollie Watkins. And that is proving why he is so valuable to Aston Villa. And look, all the talk has been, Ollie Watkins could be on his way out and Rashford's took his place. Look, it is a squad game now. How many times do I have to tell people it's not always about who starts the game? Many times it's about who finishes the game. And many times it's about picking the right players for the right game and having the players motivated to want to put in a performance. And that performance from Ollie Watkins was a performance that says, I am the number one. And he was absolutely brilliant. The substitutes that came on, Ramsey was raring to go. Onana was raring to go. And that's what you want. That's what you want from the substitutes coming on. It was an absolute masterful performance. And I'm so, so, so happy for so many reasons. Obviously, it takes us up into 5th position. I think it's 6th position as it stands in the table. 2 points behind Newcastle. Level on points with Nottingham Forest. It adds another 3 goals to the goal difference. So we're only +6. We're up to +6 now. We're only 7 goals behind Nottingham Forest. We have Manchester City to come on Tuesday. What an inspirational time to go into that game. 1 point behind them. We can go above them if we win on Tuesday, and then going into that FA Cup semi-final on Saturday in absolutely fine form. Everyone's chomping at the bit to play. And then, obviously, as I've said, me being in Newcastle, my lad being in Newcastle, what a result for me. I've had to put up with those Geordies lording it over me for the last 3 games. Now, you guys have got to take it now. You boys have got to take the L. 4-1. Absolute, total and utter demolition job. That's it from me. Where do I go from there? Absolutely amazing. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help us on the road to 6,000 subscribers. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you say Ollie Watkins man of the match? Ian Maatsen man of the match? Yuri Tillemans man of the match? You can take your pick on any of them. I'm sure I'll be back for a full match reaction with the boys at some point. And then obviously Man City preview, talking tactics, you name it. We've got it on this channel. So make sure you stay with the channel. Thank you all for watching. And as always, remember, we all follow the Villa. Come on!